got some things I want to talk about. You know, one of our very first topics I ever talked about on this show was I made an argument that our zoo's pointless, and this is actually an old story, but I still want to get your guys' take on it because it actually correlates to some other things I wanted to talk about. So I don't know if you guys heard about that. So let me just start off at the beginning. Everyone remembers that gorilla, the gorilla who got shot and died.
Harambe.
Yes, everyone was a gorilla. I talked about how people were shocked by that because they were like, "Oh my God, the gorilla's acting like a gorilla." And then I talked about how there was a deer that broke into the lion exhibit. Yeah. The lions actually mauled the deer, and instead of letting the deer eat, letting the lions eat it, they saved the deer, and the deer just died later. Then I talked about the one zoo that chopped up the zebra and fed it to the lion, and people were just shocked and outraged by us. I mean, they were literally shocked. Well, I don't know if you guys heard about this story. It's an old story, but I still want to talk about it a little bit. Did you guys hear about the giraffe YouTube feed that was pulled? It was actually pulled and then it was reposted because people were actually offended by in the San Diego Zoo about the giraffe giving birth. People were actually shocked by that.
And I think we've talked about this or not, but I saw that. I see nothing wrong with this. But
it's nature.
It is. No, but why are people offended from the circle of life food chain?
Yeah, I don't know.
Why?
You know, when I hear stuff like that, I think there's something in that makes something wrong with you. Like,
something wrong with
there's something about that giraffe that just it turned me on.
It's the circle.
I don't know why you would have a hillbilly accent,
but still, and here's a weird thing. I was actually looking up some articles about this similar subjects that people getting offended about the whole nature being nature. So if you see something on YouTube, which you could see a guy on YouTube fall into an empty pool, crack his head, then people would laugh at it. But a giraffe giving birth for about 15 seconds is just too much for people to bear.
And okay, I'm glad you pointed that. But here's where I really get into the story, and here's where people are going to be like, "Whoa, okay." So apparently, the reason I say that, I bring this whole story up about the giraffe and getting offended is because I don't know if you guys heard about the Great Barrier Reef now is getting its second consecutive bleaching due to rising water temperatures, and scientists are saying now this is the death spiral. This is the beginning of the end. The Great Barrier Reef will probably not last more than 30 years, I believe they said it was.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys heard about this story recently too about Zimbabwe. This is from Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe Wildlife Agency said Thursday it has sold 35 elephants to China.
Really?
To ease the overpopulation and raise funds for conservation and criticism from the animal welfare activists and such else that are unethical. But did you guys also hear about the rhino that was poached inside the zoo?
Yes, I saw that. Yeah.
That basically they pulled his little head out and they chopped him off with a chainsaw. Did you hear about the Tusker elephant?
Tusker elephant
being killed. These are rare elephants where there's only 30 of them left.
Now
there's only 30 of these elephants left, and the reason they call them tuskers is because their tusks reach all the way down to the ground. And somebody actually killed one for its ivory.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, someone actually killed it. Now, the reason I'm bringing this all up, guys, is because why do we have zoos if not to educate and not to help prevent these kinds of things from happening? I mean, think about it. Now they're poaching animals in the zoos. They're going right into the zoo now and poaching animals. I mean, they're not even bothered. And on animal preserves. I mean, how does this happen, man?
Well, you know what? To be honest with you, I don't agree with this 100%, but it doesn't surprise me. I bet you this is just one of those leaked stories. This has probably been going on as long as whoever can remember. It's just now this has gotten leaked. But we've talked about this on the show about the ivory game actually being distilled by the end of this year. And China is the only country out there right now that has it being legal. Everywhere else is illegal. I don't know. It's one of those things where ivory poaching was huge in the turn of the century.
But, it's still sad. People still have some kind of some of these things that people are thinking these are aphrodisiacs for some of these animals to get your dick harder and stuff.
Well,
like
not even just that. Yeah, see, crazy things like that, or they just want an ivory tusk in their house. I've said this before, where you see like, oh, that's a cool thing. Where'd you get that from? You know, ivory tusk with like inscriptions on it when they carve it in. You don't understand that an elephant had to die. Now they're being like the whole thing with the polar bears.
Let me ask you seriously, are zoos pointless though? I mean, if they are not to educate and protect these animals anymore, are they pointless? I mean, right now they're kind of becoming pointless, as you know, because our government's trying to sell off all the wildlife.
Right.
But let me even get to another story here. Have you guys heard of the I'm sorry if I'm saying this wrong. The vaquita porpoise? Have you guys heard about this story right now going down to Mexico?
Yes.
No. Okay, this is the most endangered mammal right now on the face of the earth. There is less than 30 of them left. Now get this. This actually involves the cartels.
Really?
Yes. The cartels are trying to fish a rare fish down there because their bladders sell for really high on the Chinese market. But these porpoises are getting caught, and Mexico is trying to prevent these porpoises from dying off. But the cartels are basically waging a fucking war against them to be able to fish still.
Wow.
So that's why I'm saying, man.
The organs of these things are
I'm even saying about these cartels people, because they had to be kids once, right? They had to go to a fucking zoo once. They didn't fucking learn anything, man. That's what I'm saying. Even for the poachers around here, where they're at, they're trying to make a decent living. No, they're not. No, they're not. Some of these people are actually going to Africa to kill people. Some of them are foreigners doing this.
Americans as well. It's just
Donald Trump Jr. here and all. Trump kids.
The whole thing. I mean. You know what? It goes back to that. I forget his name, but there was an American dentist who spent a grip of money that went over to Africa to kill an endangered lion, and he posted it on whatever he did online.
It was on Facebook.
But he gives Rob gives a good point here. If our whole right now existence with our federal wildlife is to protect these endangered animals, like I was just going to explain, the polar bears are another one that are dying off at a rapid pace because of these natural disasters and global warming, and they go to the only safe haven really that they have left, which is a zoo, and they're not safe there either. They're getting, there's handoffs between the guards or the people that run the zoos and these poachers. The poachers just go in there; it's free game, and they probably do this at night. You kill them, you come back.
So what do you want? You want a rhino?
Yeah.
You want a giraffe? Yeah, I can give you a giraffe for about $3,000.
Yeah, and see, and this is where I kind of hate this whole thing about the giraffe thing. Right now, they're live streaming this right now.
Yeah.
There are people watching the giraffe right now being pregnant, going through the stages, but that's just the idolization of now we have to kind of poach back. This is kind of just a trend. It's like the world runs on trends. This is just a trend. No one really gives a shit about the giraffe. As soon as it gives birth, they're not going to give two shits. It's going to go away, and then something bad's going to happen. Just someone's going to want its skin for the rug, and then they're going to care again. So it's one of these things where it's just so horrible that what kind of human being does that? You know that there's only
man.
I mean, these kids now are
30 customers left, man. 30. There's only 30 of these things left, man.
Yeah, less.
Only 30.
I think with these people, they just see how much they can get worth something, and all they just see, like what Rob said, is just money. It's always about the money.
But that risk versus reward is so deep, though. I mean, like Rob said, there's a war going on between China and the cartel. The cartel is stopping at nothing right now. They are they're worthy
to kill these dolphins just so they can fish for bladders, man.
Just for the bladders.
Just fish bladders.
How can you do that?
Money's powerful. I guess,
like I said, man, with all the climate change going on right now, they're already saying that we're entering another extinction event, and most species will be gone by, I think it was 2037, they said.
Right. I mean, the barrier reef, that's a wonder of the world.
So, the barrier reef, what really happened is that it wanted to go blonde. It wanted to go full blonde. Okay, so it decided to bleach itself. Okay? It decided to bleach itself the second continuing time because it thought white was in style. Okay? Bleach.
It's so funny. It's so funny that you say
that's what climate deniers are going to say. It wanted to bleach itself. Okay? That's what happened.
That is the world revolving, people.
That is the world evolving.
Okay.
Evolving with the fashion, evolving with the times, believe me.
Yeah, believe you.
Alright.